Hello, it's Jessie from jzstyles.salon. So today I'm going to be doing a video all about how to do a partial highlight root retouch with gray coverage. I feel like in hair school especially, it was really hard for me to do a highlight and feel like it covered all the gray. So on this, I'm actually doing 3 different color formulations. One's going to be a highlight, one's a low light, and one is a root color that we're doing in between foils. So this is going to give my client a really pretty dimensional blonde while covering all of her gray. And then we're also adding in tape and hair extensions. So I'm going to try to go over how I do my tape-ins, how to place them, how to blend them. I've done a few videos on them, but I've been asked to do another video more in depth, so I'm going to do that. So if you are interested in watching this, stay tuned. Okay, so for her lightener formulation, I am using the Blonde Me Schwarzkopf lightener, and I'm using that with 20 volume. And I'm just going to go ahead and mix that up right here, and then I will be adding olaplex. Olaplex, liquid gold. So this is just a root retouch. I don't necessarily need to use olaplex, but I'm going to just because I want to keep her hair really healthy just in case we end up touching some of her previous blondes. So I am just doing 1/8 ounce. Okay, and now I'm mixing up a low light formulation, and I am using Goldwell Colorance 7N 7G equal parts. And Goldwell Colorance is a demi-permanent line, and the reason I'm using a demi is because I don't necessarily want to put a permanent color over her blonde hair. The demi just gives it a softer, more natural look, and it will fade out more naturally, and then if she ever does want to go super blonde again, it won't be super damaging to put bleach back over the color. We're just adding in a few low lights to darken her up a little bit for fall. So nothing too drastic, but we're trying to give her just a little bit dimension. Okay, my third and final color formulation is going to be 7N 7A, and I'm doing mostly 7N with just like 1/4 of 7A, and this is going to be mixed with 20 volume, and this is Pravana, which is a permanent color line, and the reason I'm using permanent color now is because this is going to be for her roots. I'm going to use this to cover her gray, so we don't want to use a demi because it wouldn't really work. We need a permanent color to really get in and, you know, get that gray pigment out and cover it. And also the reason I'm doing an ash instead of just like a straight neutral is because I'm using 20 volume, so it's going to give me a little bit of lift since it's on her natural hair. So it's going to lift a little bit. I don't want it to lift super warm because that can happen when you break the base. So I'm doing an N, which is a neutral, and that will get rid of the gray for me, but then I'm just doing a little bit of ash to counteract any warmth when lifting. And when I have more than one color formula I'm working with, I like to use these little stickers and write down each formula just so I don't get them mixed up. So that's what I'm doing right here. Okay, let's get going, and just to apologize in advance, I have a cold, and so if I sound really weird in this voiceover, that's why, so just excuse that. But we are going to be starting with the mohawk area, and this is just going to be a partial highlight, and I like to do 3 lightener foils to 1 low light, so I'm just going to start out with that. My highlights are going to be baby lights, just really fine, natural looking highlights. And as you can see, I am just putting the lightener on her roots only. It may overlap a little bit onto her previous blonde, but I'm trying really hard not to. I just really want to get her roots. We don't need to necessarily take her any blonder. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Okay, you guys, I just have to throw this in there. I about died watching this video back while I'm doing my voiceover because I noticed that you can see like the sticker on my shirt because I bought it yesterday and it's like the small sticker. So yeah, enjoy that if you noticed it, and shout out to American Eagle. They have the cutest clothes right now, so go shopping there. Okay, so now that I've done 3 lightener foils, I'm going to be doing my low light, and as you can see, I'm doing the 7N, 7A just on her regrowth to cover the gray, and then I'm taking my 7N and 7G and putting it throughout the ends of her hair, and I'm just going to make sure that those kind of meet in the middle, work that color together so there's no line, and then I'm just going to fold it up 2 times so that it doesn't rub together and create any problems. But yeah, this is going to be my low light formulation, and now I'm just going to go through and do that in the same pattern, 3 highlights to 1 low light throughout the rest of her head. Whenever I get to like this part of the head right in the middle, I always have to get my step stool out because I'm not tall enough. So there I am, a little taller now. So I am just going to continue the same pattern I was doing before, 3 highlights to 1 low light, and then I'm going to flip her around and do the front of her hair in just a second. And now I'm just going to turn her around, and that last little section I'm just going to do facing towards me. I feel like I can just get a better grip on the hair that way. So I'm doing that same formula right around here. Typically when I do my highlights, I like to do it brighter around the face, so I'll do like a few money pieces. But I'm not going to do that with her because we're going for more of a dimensional blonde. So I'm just doing the same baby lights, low lighted formula. So yeah, just to clarify. Now that the mohawk's done, I'm taking that 7A, 7N formula that I used on her roots throughout my low light, and I'm putting it in between each foil. And this is just going to break her base in between the foils and get all of that gray out so that she doesn't have any gray left over once we're rinsed out. I feel like a lot of people kind of skip this step when you're doing gray coverage with a highlight. When you have a dark color that you're doing on a client, it's really easy because you just put the color on, it covers the gray. But with blonde, it's a little tricky. You kind of have to formulate differently. You have to make sure you do the extra steps to cover that gray, and it's really hard because most of the time with 20 volume you are breaking the base, and so you have to make sure you use the right formula so it doesn't go too warm, and this is just the formula that I have found that works best for me. Alright, now I'm just going up the side of her head on each section, doing the same formula as before, so there's nothing too different about what I'm doing here, but you can just kind of watch me anyway. Now that the sides are all wrapped up, I'm going to go through and do that base breaking color again in between the foils. This is just kind of like a closer up view so you can see how I do it. Just going in between all of the foils, covering all of her natural regrowth wherever she's gray, making sure not to get on any of the blonde because it does have an ash in it and we don't want that to be put onto her blonde hair because then it will go green, as we know. So I'm just making sure I saturate those pieces really well, and then as soon as I'm done, I'm actually going to fold those foils over and make sure that I get it around her hairline too, because when she pulls her hair back, we want to make sure that it's all covered. Shades EQ time. So I am going to be using 1.5 ounces of 8N and then 1/2 ounce of 9NB, and it's going to be 2 ounces of toner to 2 ounces of processing solution, equaling 4 ounces total. And shout out to Sodalicious in the back. They sponsor us most days here at the salon because we need our caffeine fix, and they are our next door neighbors, so it's like so great. So here I'm just shampooing her to get all of the color out and giving her a nice little head massage, and then we are going to be adding our toner right after this. So when you're toning at the bowl, especially when using an applicator bottle, it's really important to like break the hair open and make sure you get it through all sections of the hair, not just like the outside surface. I've done that a lot where like I think I'll get all of it taken care of and then I get her back to the chair and there's like still a highlight that wasn't toned. So it's just super important to work it through the hair really well, massage it in, and then kind of like pick up the hair individually and take little sections and like rub it into the hair super well. And I left her toner on for 5 minutes. Now that her toner's rinsed out, I'm using Olaplex number 2, and I am going to rub that through, saturate her hair really well with it, and I'm leaving that on about 5 minutes on her hair, and then I'll use a regular conditioner right after, just to make sure her hair gets maximum moisture. Okay, so I feel like a really good blowout is the key to a good hair appointment. So I make sure to round brush all of my clients. It just leaves the hair a lot smoother, looking a lot nicer, gives them maximum volume, maximum shine. So I'm just round brushing her right now, and the round brush I am using is from Olivia Garden. I got it at Salon Centric, and I have it in like every single size. This is the size I used on most of my clients, and it's like the best one because it gives you volume and a little bit of curl towards the ends if you want it. The smaller the brush, the more curl, and the bigger the brush, the more volume. So I am just using that medium-sized one to achieve what I want. Alright, so I totally filmed this with the intention of filming the whole thing and showing you how I place extensions, but my camera battery died like halfway through it, so it's just this little section, and I'm really sorry for that. But if you do want a more in-depth tutorial on how I place extensions, how I blend them, let me know in the comments below, and I will film that for you guys. But as of right now, I'm just going to place these, and you can kind of watch what I do have. I like to do a brick lay pattern, so this bottom one is in the center, and then I brick lay up the top of the head, and I like to utilize my angles, so as you can see, I have like a diagonal parting right here, and I just feel like that helps like fill in any corners on the side of her head. And then after I do those corners, I just go through and brick lay up the back of the head. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really hope you learned something. If you did, tell me what you did learn in the comments below. I have some really fun videos coming your way within the next few weeks, so stay tuned for those, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.